You got to build on facts. Today, I'm not sure how many people saw it. There was a momentary flash crash in Europe. Okay. European, predominantly Norwegian or whatever they call that part of the world. I should know because I'm from Norway. Scandinavian stock indices dropped by 8% on a flash crash. Flash crashes don't typically happen when liquidity is being injected into the market. Flash crashes happen when either a fat finger hits the wrong key or there's no bid in the market because people don't really want to buy anything. In fact, they have to sell stuff. Okay. So as a trader, sometimes you try and build up your position by saying you put in a big bid, but the reality is you're trying to sell something and you want to fake out the market that there's a big buyer when in fact, all you're trying to do is get some buyer to step in front of you so you can fill his boots and meet your margin call. Okay. When all those bids evaporate out of the market, things flash crash. Well, today there was a flash crash in Scandinavia. It's reported by the Wall Street Journal. I wasn't trading it. I don't have global positions anymore in my books. That being said, I do know what it feels like when liquidity is being withdrawn from the system, and that's when things break, okay? I made a quote on Friday. Here's a little joke, right? What's the last thing that goes through a bee's brain when it hits your windshield? Have you guys heard that joke? His asshole. Okay. So the bee's asshole goes through his brain. Okay. And I said that the close on Friday was like a bee hitting your windshield, right? Poof. And the poor guy's asshole goes through his brain. Right. And that's what the close felt like on Friday. Today, it feels like you're running into a flock of seagulls in your truck, okay? Boom, 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 fucking seagulls are bouncing off your windshield, okay? And you just don't get what it's like being on a trading floor when you're driving through a flock of seagulls and everyone's trying to fuck you sideways, okay? And your salesman's trying to fuck you even though you're on the same team as him because he's trying to get one of his accounts out of a fucking shit position that, hey, Foss, don't you remember you sold this fucker the shit position? And I'm like, he's stupid enough to buy it. Now go tell him to fuck himself. And all of a sudden you're like in a war of words and seagulls are hitting your fucking windshield left, right, and center. And guess what? That's what happens when liquidity gets taken out of the system. And we've only done one rate hike. Are you kidding me? This is hilarious. This is Clown World Central. This is fucking moronic. And you have Charlie Munger saying, well, everything's going to be fine because, you know, we're protecting the Federal Reserve. They're the arseholes that got us into this problem. Okay, so get your protection. Don't listen to these guys. And when you drive through a flock of seagulls, sort of giggle to yourself and say, boy, are these birds ever stupid, right? Like they set themselves up for this thing. They're pretending they're going to raise rates and you'll be able to drive down the beach with no seagulls. No. You're going to be smashing into seagulls, and then you're going to start hitting Canadian geese, and then you're probably going to start hitting some people that can't get out of the fucking way, and you're going to be bouncing fat beachgoers off your windshield. This is ugliness. Jim Cramer had a rant on CNBC in 2007, eloquently rephrased, or not rephrased, but brought up this weekend by Zero Hedge. They have no idea what's going on out there. Look up this rant, okay? 2007, Jim Cramer. They know nothing. Now, Cramer knows nothing as well, but he does know how to read markets. And when he had that rant, he was absolutely right. What did it succeed in doing? It taught the equity market into getting the Fed to ease going into the great financial crisis. The equity market traded up for about 2 months after the Cramer, or I call him Cramer, the Cramer rant. Equity guys felt good. Guess what? Credit was going in exactly the wrong direction. You got to watch credit. And in October of 2007, it gave up the ghost, okay? Even though the Fed eased and the equity markets were all happy for a little while, 10 months later, the world almost unraveled. And I'm going to throw out one final stat for you. The TARP, the Troubled Asset Relief Program, was less than a $1 trillion rescue package. Jeff mentioned that the next one is, well, Biden's just announced some multiple of $1 trillion deficit spending as a relief, and we weren't even in a recession. What is the next one going to require? That's what Jeff says. Think about the size of the next package that is going to require to move the needle again. And why are tech stocks with multiples that there was nothing else to buy, so you had to buy your growth in tech stocks? Those multiples are coming down. Things are not looking good, people. Good call, Jeff, on the, you know, the irrational exuberance that was in the markets. The AAII is not wrong, but my thought is, I thought today would be a little bit of a bounce, and the markets haven't closed yet, and I'm not looking at it, but I imagine the VIX is still around 35%. If it is, watch it into the close. And we got Tuesday, turned around Tuesday, and then we got Fed Wednesday. And the week is, you know, it's like not even, anyway, the seagulls are going to be bashing off your window. Okay, guys. It's never fun. My wife once drove through a flock of blackbirds on the side of the highway, and she was crushed for, like, the sound of it hitting your truck and bouncing off your truck. It's sickening as these birds go flying everywhere. But I've also driven into a Canada goose that shattered my windshield. These are big things, okay? These are not bumblebees. We are talking about driving through birds now, okay? And it'll soon be even bigger. So position your portfolio accordingly. It is ugly. And I think that James or Jerome Powell, he's probably on about the 16th hole right now. So he's going to actually probably have to figure out what he's going to do within the next couple of days, even though that's baked into the cards. Yes, Jeff, I think he absolutely has to raise. But honestly, it's like, no, they shouldn't raise. But how much more can they cut? They can't. So right. QE infinity, pure math. Yeah, thanks.